The alien princess froze when she saw me. I found out why later. HFY Sci-Fi Story HFY Stories. Liam had never seen a city like Violia before. From the sky, it looked like a cascade of glass towers, glowing softly in shades of blue and silver. Hovering vehicles moved silently along invisible tracks, weaving through the towering structures like schools of luminous fish. The air shimmered with faint energy currents, and strange, alien symbols glimmered on walls, floating midair as if held by magic. For a human used to concrete cities and noisy engines, this was a world out of legend. He adjusted his simple explorer's jacket and stepped out of the hovercraft. His boots clicked against the smooth surface of the palace landing platform, a sound that seemed almost loud in the quiet elegance around him. Around him, his delegation, a small group of human diplomats and engineers, murmured in awe, taking in the crystalline towers and the soft, glowing gardens. The palace itself rose like a jewel at the center of the city, its spires curving gracefully toward the sky. Liam could feel the hum of energy beneath the platform. The aliens here had technology far beyond anything humans had yet seen. They were greeted by attendants who moved with perfect precision, their forms tall and lithe, with skin that shimmered faintly like pearl. Their eyes were large, intelligent, and calm. Liam noticed a small insignia on their clothing, a delicate symbol he didn't recognize, perhaps marking them as members of the royal court. As he followed them inside, he marveled at the palace halls, walls made of transparent materials that refracted light, displaying images of distant galaxies, alien landscapes, and moments of historical importance. Everything here had a sense of purpose, of design that combined art and technology in ways humans hadn't yet imagined. Finally, they entered the main hall. Liam's eyes widened. The ceiling stretched impossibly high, its surface alive with shifting constellations, projecting the night sky of Violia in perfect detail. At the far end of the hall stood her, the princess. Solara moved with a grace that made every step seem deliberate, her presence commanding the attention of everyone in the room. Her eyes were a shade of violet that seemed to glow faintly in the soft light, and her hair shimmered silver, cascading down her back in a way that seemed almost liquid. She wore a robe that was both elegant and practical, the fabric seeming to respond to her movements. And then she saw Liam. For a moment she froze. Her hand paused midair, her eyes wide and unblinking, her lips parted slightly as if she wanted to speak but couldn't. The room fell silent. Not a single attendant moved, even the floating lights seemed to dim in the tension of the moment. Liam noticed the change immediately. He felt a strange mix of curiosity and unease. "Is something wrong?" he asked softly, stepping forward. No one answered. He took another step, and Solara's frozen gaze didn't leave him. She didn't bow or acknowledge him in any way, which in itself was unusual. The court of Violia was known for its strict etiquette, yet she ignored it entirely, caught in a moment of shock. Liam studied her carefully. There was no fear in her eyes, not exactly. It was more recognition, a sudden, strange familiarity, as if she had seen him before, though that was impossible. Humans had only recently begun interstellar travel, and Violia was remote. Liam felt a thrill of curiosity and a hint of pride. Humans had done many things thought impossible, but this, capturing the attention of an alien princess with just his presence, was something new. "Your Highness," he said carefully, keeping his tone respectful but calm. "I am Liam from Earth. I come in peace and with goodwill from our people." Her gaze lingered, then she blinked rapidly as if waking from a trance. She straightened and her composure returned, though her hands remained slightly tense. Liam noticed the subtle tremor in her shoulders, a tiny detail that others in the room seemed to ignore. I apologize," she said finally, her voice melodic but firm. "I did not expect." She paused, struggling to find words. Liam only smiled faintly, sensing her discomfort but not wanting to press. Sometimes, the first moments of contact were the most revealing, and he had learned from exploration and diplomacy alike that patience often mattered more than words. The attendants led them to a circular chamber nearby, walls of clear material showing the city outside. Liam followed, glancing around. Even the simplest of the palace's details were breathtaking. The floors reflected light like water, the air was fresh and slightly electric, and small, hovering orbs moved methodically, cleaning, monitoring, and assisting without being intrusive. He could feel the pulse of the city in these little details. Once inside, Celara turned to face him fully, her expression still a mixture of curiosity and cautious awe. "You remind me of someone," she said finally, her voice quieter, almost a whisper. "But I don't understand how it is possible." Liam tilted his head, intrigued. "Someone from your history?" he asked. "Or someone you know personally?" She hesitated, glancing down at her hands. "Long ago, a human helped my ancestors during a time of great danger. He changed the course of our history. It is said that humans are rare among the stars, and to see one now, it is overwhelming." Liam's heart skipped a beat. Humans were still few and far between in interstellar politics, and yet somehow his presence stirred something that went beyond curiosity or protocol. It was as if he had stepped into the echoes of legend. "Then I am honored to meet you," Liam said softly. "I may not be that person, but I promise to act with the same goodwill and respect." Celara studied him for a long moment, her violet eyes searching. Slowly she nodded, a small, careful gesture of acknowledgement. "Very well, Liam from Earth. You may join our council discussions tomorrow, but tonight you will rest in the guest quarters. I trust you will find them comfortable." The attendants led him through twisting corridors, each more magnificent than the last. Liam could hardly believe that such a place existed in the universe. A world where technology and beauty merged seamlessly, where every surface seemed alive, yet the elegance was natural, not forced. He was acutely aware that humans were still young among the stars, yet he also felt a quiet pride. Humans could reach places like this, survive in strange worlds, and leave their mark. When he arrived at his quarters, a simple but elegant room with walls that seemed to breathe light, he paused by the window. Below, the city stretched endlessly, alien yet familiar in its patterns. Liam allowed himself a quiet smile. The princess's reaction had been strange, yes, but it also made him wonder what humans were capable of, how far they could reach, how their influence might ripple across distant worlds. He had not yet discovered the full reason why Celara had frozen. That mystery waited, and Liam felt a spark of excitement. Part of exploration was not just seeing new worlds, but understanding them, understanding the people, and sometimes understanding oneself. As he lay down, Liam thought about the stories of humans who had traveled to distant planets, who had faced dangers unimaginable, who had met beings far older and wiser than themselves. Yet here he was, not as a hero of legend, but as a curious human navigating a world that seemed designed to challenge both intellect and courage. And in the quiet of the palace, high above the glowing city, Liam knew that his journey was only beginning. The moment the princess froze, unexplainable as it was, had marked the start of something far greater than diplomacy or curiosity. It had opened a door to the unknown, to adventure, and to the possibility that humans, in their resilience and ingenuity, could stand proudly among the stars. Outside, in the city of Violia, the lights continued to shimmer, casting long, intricate patterns on the ground. Somewhere in the palace, Princess Celara watched silently, her mind turning over questions she had never imagined needing answers to. Liam was not just a visitor. He was a puzzle, a challenge, and perhaps a key to something her people had long forgotten. As the night deepened, the palace slept under the gentle hum of energy. Liam closed his eyes, unaware of the full weight of his presence. But even in sleep, humans were remarkable in ways that often surprised the galaxy. And somewhere in the vast corridors of Violia, destiny had begun to stir. The next morning, Liam woke to a soft glow filling his quarters. The walls reflected light in gentle waves, moving as if alive. Outside, the city of Violia was already awake. Hovercraft skimmed the air, leaving trails of soft light, and figures moved with effortless precision along the streets and platforms. Liam rubbed his eyes and stretched, feeling a mix of excitement and anticipation. Today would be his first real interaction with the Royal Council, and he wanted to be ready. He stepped out of his room and followed a small group of attendants who led him through the palace corridors. Every detail continued to amaze him. The walls seemed transparent, yet shimmered with faint symbols that shifted as he walked. Occasionally, holographic images appeared, showing past events, battles, and celebrations of the Violian people. Humans could not yet produce such technology, and Liam felt a quiet pride in knowing that, even if humans were new to the stars, they could hold their own in intelligence and ingenuity. They arrived at the council chamber, a vast room shaped like a circle, with seats arranged in a spiral around a central platform. Each seat had a small console that displayed information in Virean script. Liam did not understand the language, but the symbols were beautiful and precise. He noticed that some seats were already occupied by dignitaries, their eyes scanning him with interest. He could feel the tension in the room, the curiosity, and perhaps a hint of skepticism. Humans were rare in this part of the galaxy. Solara entered shortly after, her presence commanding immediate attention. Liam noticed that while she moved gracefully, there was still a subtle tension in her posture. Her violet eyes flicked briefly to him, and for a moment he thought he saw the same recognition and wonder as before. She gave a slight nod, signaling him to take a seat near the center. The council began their discussion in low, melodic tones. Liam listened carefully, trying to understand the issues without needing to grasp every word. There was talk of trade routes, planetary resources, and defense measures against distant threats. When technical details arose, Liam's engineering mind quickly caught patterns and possible solutions. He noted inefficiencies, small problems that could become larger if left unchecked. After the first hour, one of the council members, a tall figure with skin shimmering like silver, addressed him in broken Galactic common. "Human, your people are clever. Can you suggest ways to improve our transport energy flow?" Liam nodded. "I can try," he said. "From what I've seen, your energy conduits are efficient, but some junction points could be simplified. If you adjust the flow and reduce resistance in certain areas, you could improve output without extra resources." A murmur spread through the council. One of the Vireans tilted their head, fascinated. Another whispered to a neighbor. Solara's eyes met Liam's, and he saw a flicker of approval there. The tension he had felt earlier began to lift, replaced by intrigue. After the meeting, Liam was invited to explore more of the palace. He wandered through corridors and chambers, each more stunning than the last. In one room, he discovered historical records stored in holographic form. He reached out and the display activated, showing a series of events from centuries ago. Liam watched a record of a great war that had nearly destroyed the planet, and then paused as he saw a figure, human in shape, helping the Vireans with technology and strategy that seemed impossibly advanced for the time. He frowned. This must be the person Solara had mentioned, the human who had helped her ancestors. The description matched his own, though it was centuries old. He could not be the same person, of course. Humans did not live that long, yet the resemblance was striking. Liam felt a mix of curiosity and humility. Perhaps humans had always been capable of remarkable deeds, leaving impressions that lasted long after they were gone. As he studied the records, Solara appeared quietly behind him. "You have found it," she said softly. Liam turned, startled by her sudden presence. She did not look angry or suspicious, only curious. "Yes," he admitted. "I think I understand why you froze when you saw me. You recognized me from history?" Solara shook her head slightly. "Not exactly. Humans are rare here. Seeing you is like seeing a shadow of the past, a memory we never expected to witness again. I did not mean to appear stunned. It is just unusual." Liam smiled faintly. "I can understand that. Humans are strange to many worlds, I suppose, but I promise I mean no harm." She studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "I believe you, but there are still questions. How much do you know of Virelia, of our people?" "Not much," Liam admitted. "I have read about your planet, your culture, but I am here to learn. I want to understand, and I want to help if I can." Solara's expression softened slightly. "Then perhaps you are not just a visitor, but a bridge between our worlds." The next few hours were spent exploring technology labs and observation decks. Liam was fascinated by the advanced energy systems, the way the Vireans manipulated matter with precision, and the subtle ways they integrated intelligence into daily life. He noticed small inefficiencies in some systems, places where human ingenuity could improve performance without disrupting the balance. He suggested changes, careful to respect their technology and culture. Each suggestion was met with quiet approval, and Solara's eyes followed him, watching closely. As the day ended, they returned to the central gardens of the palace. Bioluminescent plants glowed softly under the dimming light, and small streams of water ran in intricate patterns. Liam sat by a fountain, watching the reflections dance on the surface, feeling a sense of calm. Solara joined him quietly. "You are unlike any human I expected," she said. "Your mind works differently, and yet you have something familiar, something our people respect deeply." Liam nodded. Humans have always adapted. We find solutions, we face challenges, we help where we can. Perhaps that is why your ancestors remembered the human who came before. Solara smiled faintly. It is rare to find someone who can combine intelligence with humility. Many humans are arrogant or careless. You are not. They walked together through the gardens, the silence comfortable. For the first time, Liam felt a sense of connection with this world, not just as an observer, but as someone who could make a real difference. The princess, despite her initial hesitation, seemed to accept his presence as something more than a diplomatic formality. Later in the evening, the palace held a formal dinner for the delegation. Humans were seated alongside Virelian dignitaries, the food and drink strange but surprisingly palatable. Liam observed the customs carefully, mimicking gestures and phrases to show respect. Around the table, discussions ranged from planetary economics to philosophical debates. Liam contributed where he could, offering insights based on human experiences, surprising some Virelians with practical solutions to problems they had long struggled with. Solara watched quietly, her expression unreadable. Yet when Liam offered a solution to a logistical problem that had puzzled the council for weeks, she could not hide a flicker of admiration. Her initial reaction when she first saw him, the freezing, the shock, began to make sense to her. Humans were capable of ingenuity, bravery, and wisdom in ways she had only read about in history, and Liam embodied all of it. After dinner, Liam was invited to walk the palace corridors with Solara. The city below glimmered under the alien night sky, a vast network of lights stretching to the horizon. "I do not understand everything about humans," Solara said softly, "but I am beginning to see why your people are remembered in our stories. You are remarkable." Liam chuckled. "I am just one person, princess, but perhaps humans, even in small numbers, can make a difference." She nodded. "I believe it, and perhaps that is why your presence here matters more than you realize." As they reached the balcony overlooking the city, a soft wind carried the faint scent of alien flowers. Liam looked out at the glowing towers, feeling a sense of awe and responsibility. This world, so advanced and beautiful, had welcomed him not just as a guest, but as someone whose presence could influence the future. And the princess, Solara, had begun to see humans in a new light, not as strangers, but as beings capable of extraordinary deeds. That night, as Liam rested once more in his quarters, he could not shake the feeling that something greater was at play. His arrival on Virelia had stirred memories, legends, and possibilities. Humans were few among the stars, but they were not powerless. Already he felt the pulse of potential, the chance to shape events, to help, and to prove that humans could stand among the greatest civilizations of the galaxy. Solara, meanwhile, could not sleep. In her chambers, she gazed at the stars projected on the ceiling, thinking of the human who had arrived unexpectedly. His presence was unsettling yet inspiring. She wondered if the past had found its echo in him, or if it was something entirely new. Either way, she knew one thing clearly. Humans, and this one in particular, were not ordinary. And so, the first full day on Virelia ended with more questions than answers, with recognition and curiosity intertwined, and with the quiet understanding that humans could leave a mark on worlds far beyond their own. For Liam, the adventure had only begun. The sun rose over Virelia, bathing the crystalline towers in soft shades of pink and gold. Liam walked through the palace corridors, accompanied by a few attendants, feeling more comfortable in his surroundings. He had spent the previous day learning about the city, its technology, and its people. Yet even as he became familiar with the palace, he could sense that not everything was calm. There was an undercurrent of tension that he could not yet name. Solara met him in the central garden, her violet eyes alert. "Good morning, Liam," she said, her voice calm but tinged with concern. "We have received reports of unusual activity near the northern trade routes. There may be a threat to the city." Liam frowned. "Threat? What kind?" Solara hesitated. "It appears to be a group acting outside the law, possibly seeking to destabilize Virelia. They have advanced weapons, but they are not from our planet." Liam's heart quickened. Humans had faced dangers like this before, pirates, raiders, and warlords, but the thought of aliens with advanced technology threatening this beautiful city added a new layer of urgency. "What do you need me to do?" he asked. Solara studied him for a moment. "I do not know if you can fight as we do, but you have insight. Perhaps you can help us prepare." Liam nodded. Then we should start immediately. He was led to the palace defense control room, a vast chamber filled with consoles, holographic maps, and glowing interfaces. Violian engineers and strategists moved efficiently, their actions precise and confident. Yet Liam noticed subtle flaws. Some energy channels were not optimized, and communication lines had redundancies that slowed response times. Small things, but in a crisis, even small inefficiencies could be disastrous. He moved quickly, analyzing the layout and the flow of energy. If you reroute these conduits here, he said, pointing at the holographic map, and adjust the sensors to cover this blind spot, you can detect intruders earlier and reinforce defenses faster. The engineers exchanged glances, then adjusted the systems under Liam's guidance. To their surprise, the response time improved noticeably, and the energy flow became more stable. Celara watched silently, her respect for the human growing with every suggestion. Hours passed, and the reports of the approaching threat grew more urgent. Hovercrafts moved across the city, evacuating civilians from vulnerable areas. The palace was on high alert, yet there was a strange sense of calm in Liam's presence. Humans were unpredictable in ways that often gave them an advantage. Liam could see patterns others had missed, anticipate moves, and find solutions in the midst of chaos. When the first attackers appeared on the outskirts of the city, it was clear that Liam's adjustments had made a difference. The city's shields activated faster, energy barriers strengthened, and sensors tracked the intruders with precision. Violian guards were able to respond more effectively, intercepting threats before they could cause major damage. Celara stood at the balcony overlooking the northern approach, her hands resting lightly on the railing. "You are remarkable," she said quietly, more to herself than to anyone else. "I see now why my ancestors remembered humans. Your mind, it is unlike anything we have seen." Liam did not look at her. His focus was on the holographic map, analyzing the movements of the attackers. They are using fast, small ships. Standard weapons may not be effective against their shields. We need to lure them into a trap, force them into slower corridors where our defenses can work efficiently. The council listened, some skeptical at first, but as Liam explained the strategy, the logic was undeniable. Violian engineers adjusted the city's defensive patterns, creating choke points and rerouting energy pulses to maximize impact. The first wave of attackers moved into position, unaware that the humans and Violians were ready. The engagement was intense. Light pulses streaked through the sky, shields flashed with energy, and the hum of machinery filled the air. Liam moved among the control consoles, coordinating efforts, offering quick adjustments, and anticipating enemy maneuvers. Every action he suggested improved the city's defenses. Civilians were evacuated safely, and the attackers were pushed back with minimal damage. Celara observed everything, amazed at how swiftly Liam adapted to the situation. She realized that humans had a unique quality, an ability to think quickly under pressure, to improvise when the rules did not make sense, and to act decisively. Unlike Violians, who relied on centuries of structured strategy, humans were flexible, unpredictable, and surprisingly effective. The battle continued for hours. Liam suggested using decoy energy signals to mislead the attackers, then rerouting power to concentrated points to create controlled defensive zones. Each idea was met with careful consideration by the council, and each worked. Slowly, the invaders' movements became disorganized, their attacks less coordinated, and their morale weakened. At one point, a particularly fast ship broke through one of the outer barriers. Liam quickly analyzed its trajectory. "If we activate the secondary pulse here," he said, pointing to the holographic map, "we can disable its engines without harming the pilot. That way, we neutralize the threat without unnecessary loss." Celara's eyes widened. "You think like a warrior and a protector," she whispered. "Not just human, but extraordinary." The pulse was activated, and the ship slowed, spinning harmlessly out of control before landing safely outside the city. Liam had saved the pilot without violence, showing both strategy and compassion. Celara felt a deep respect for him. He was more than a visitor. He was a hero in action, though he did not yet realize it himself. As the day turned to evening, the last of the attackers retreated. The city of Violia remained intact, its people safe, thanks to the combined efforts of Liam and the Violian defenders. The council gathered to assess the aftermath, and Celara approached Liam. "You have done more than anyone could have expected," she said, her voice filled with genuine admiration. "Your presence here, it has changed the outcome. I see now why my people's stories remembered humans. You have the courage, the wisdom, and the ingenuity of legends." Liam shook his head. "I did what anyone would do to protect others. Humans are not heroes because of themselves. They are heroes because they act when it matters most." Celara smiled faintly. "Perhaps. But you are also proof that humans can stand proudly among the stars, even when the odds are against them. I see it in you, Liam. You have something our people respect deeply." The palace engineers and strategists continued to adjust defenses under Liam's guidance, ensuring that any future threat could be met with even greater efficiency. Liam walked among them, offering suggestions, answering questions, and learning more about Virelian technology. Every solution he found, every adjustment he suggested was met with quiet awe. Humans had a reputation for adaptability, and today he had proven it. By the time night fell, the city was calm once more. The glowing towers reflected in the streams below, and soft bioluminescent lights illuminated the gardens. Liam stood beside Celara on the balcony, both of them observing the city they had helped protect. "You see, humans are capable of great things," Liam said softly. "Sometimes it is not strength or technology alone, it is the mind, the ability to adapt, and the willingness to act." Celara nodded, her expression thoughtful. "I see it now, and I am beginning to understand why the first human who helped my ancestors was remembered. It was not just the deeds, it was the heart, the courage, and the mind. You have all of it." For the first time, she felt a sense of hope, not just for the safety of her people, but for the future. With humans like Liam by her side, Virelia could face challenges that no single civilization could overcome alone. She realized that humans were rare, yes, but they were extraordinary, capable of changing the course of history with ingenuity, courage, and compassion. Liam looked out at the city below, feeling a quiet satisfaction. Humans were not perfect, but they had something unique, an ability to rise to the occasion, to face dangers with intelligence and heart, and to make a difference. Today had proven that, in ways even he had not anticipated. As the night deepened, the stars above Virelia shimmered, a reminder of the vast universe that stretched beyond the city. Liam knew that this was only the beginning. The attack had been a test, a glimpse of the challenges that lay ahead, and he was ready. Humans had always found ways to survive, to adapt, and to overcome. In the heart of an alien world, he had shown that again. Celara remained beside him, silent but thoughtful. She understood that humans were unpredictable, yes, but that unpredictability was also their strength. And she realized something else. Liam was no ordinary human. He carried the legacy of ingenuity, courage, and adaptability that had once shaped her people's history. And perhaps that legacy would shape the future once more. The night passed quietly, but both Liam and Celara knew that the universe was vast, and threats were never truly gone. Yet today they had proven something important. Humans could rise to the occasion, stand proudly among the stars, and protect what mattered most. And so, as Virelia slept under the soft glow of its lights, a new understanding formed between human and alien, between past and present, and between possibility and destiny. The adventure was far from over, but one truth had been made clear. Humans, when called upon, were capable of extraordinary things. The morning after the attack, the city of Virelia was quiet but alive with movement. Citizens walked along the glowing streets, checking their homes and markets, reassured that the crisis had passed. The palace, too, was busy with activity, though a sense of calm and relief had settled over the halls. Liam moved through the corridors, now comfortable with the rhythms and routines of this alien world, though the memory of yesterday's battle lingered in his mind. Celara found him in the central garden, her expression thoughtful. "Liam," she said, her violet eyes searching his face, "I believe it is time I tell you why I froze when I first saw you." Liam turned, curious. "I've wondered about that," he admitted. "I knew it had something to do with the past, but I didn't know how much." She took a deep breath, gathering her words. "When you arrived, I felt a recognition I could not explain. It was not fear exactly, but surprise and awe. Long ago, a human, your ancestor perhaps, or someone very much like you, helped my people during a great war. His ingenuity, bravery, and compassion changed the course of our history, Seeing you brought back that memory like a shadow of the past standing before me. Liam blinked, stunned. I am honored, truly, but I am not that person. I only try to help where I can. Humans have always done what they can to survive, to protect, to explore. I am just another human. Solara shook her head gently. It is more than that. Humans have a quality that my people rarely see: creativity, adaptability, courage. You have shown all of it in a single day, and in doing so, you have reminded us why humans were remembered. You are not just a visitor, you are a bridge between worlds, and your presence has brought hope. Liam felt a warmth in his chest, a quiet pride. Humans were still young among the stars, yet here he was, proving that even a single person could make a difference on a planet far from Earth. He realized that HFY was not about strength or technology alone. It was about the mind, the courage to act, and the will to help when it mattered most. Solara continued, I watched you yesterday, Liam. Your choices, your strategies, your care for both our people and the attackers who did not need to die, it was remarkable. You have reminded me and my people that humans are capable of greatness. Liam smiled faintly. I only did what I thought was right. Humans act when necessary, and sometimes that is enough. Solara nodded, her expression softening. It is enough, and it is more than enough for a world that has faced threats it could not face alone. You have earned our respect, and perhaps a place among our people as an ally. They walked through the palace gardens together, the soft glow of bioluminescent plants lighting their path. The streams reflected the towers above, creating patterns of light that danced like stars on water. Liam felt a sense of peace he had not known before. For the first time in a long while, he understood that humans, despite being young among the stars, could leave a lasting mark on distant worlds. Do you think humans will ever truly be part of the galaxy? Liam asked quietly. Sometimes it feels like we are small, insignificant compared to planets like this. Solara looked at him, her violet eyes serious. Humans are young, yes, but you are resilient. You adapt, you learn, and you act when it matters most. Yesterday proved that one human can change the outcome of events even when the odds are against them. That is why humans will be remembered. That is why humans can stand proudly among the stars. Liam felt a sense of awe at her words. He had faced danger before, solved problems, and explored unknown worlds. But hearing a princess of a distant civilization speak so highly of humans was different. It was not just respect. It was recognition of potential, of the qualities that made his species capable of extraordinary things. As the day progressed, the palace received news of further stabilization along the trade routes. Scouts reported that the attackers had retreated, their forces broken, and that no civilian had been harmed. Liam assisted in coordinating resources, ensuring that supplies and medical aid reached those in need. His practical approach, combined with human adaptability, impressed even the Virelian strategists who had initially doubted him. Solara observed him quietly from the council chamber, a mixture of admiration and contemplation in her expression. She realized that Liam's presence had changed more than the outcome of a battle. He had shifted perceptions. Humans were no longer strangers, no longer merely visitors. They were capable allies, worthy of trust and respect. As evening approached, Liam and Solara walked along the balcony overlooking the city. The towers glowed softly under the alien sky, their lights mirrored in the streams and gardens below. Liam felt a quiet satisfaction. He had acted when it mattered, and in doing so had proven that humans were capable of extraordinary deeds. You have a way of seeing possibilities that others do not, Solara said quietly. Humans, you are unpredictable in ways that give you an advantage. I have watched you solve problems yesterday that my people have struggled with for generations. Liam shrugged modestly. We learn from experience, from mistakes, and from the desire to survive and help. That is what makes humans strong. Solara smiled faintly. Strong is not the word I would choose. Clever, compassionate, courageous, all of these describe you. You are remarkable, Liam, and your presence here has reminded my people of what humans can be. They stood in silence for a moment, the city stretching out before them, peaceful and safe for now. Liam realized that the events of the past day had not only tested his abilities, but had also shown the potential of humans to influence distant worlds positively. HFY was not just about strength. It was about ingenuity, adaptability, and the courage to act. He had seen it in himself, and now, through Celara's eyes, he could see it reflected in the respect of an entire civilization. Night fell over Violia, and the stars above shimmered like scattered diamonds. Liam and Celara returned to the palace chambers, where the council had gathered to discuss the next steps for planetary security and cooperation. Liam contributed to the conversation, offering strategies that combined human practicality with Violian technology. His suggestions were met with approval, and slowly, a sense of collaboration began to form. By the time the meeting ended, the council had established a new alliance between humans and Violians. The plan was to share knowledge, technology, and strategies, ensuring that both species could thrive and face challenges together. Liam had not expected such responsibility, yet he accepted it with humility and determination. Humans were capable, and now they had a chance to prove it on a larger scale. Celara approached him privately as the council dispersed. "You have done more than anyone could have expected," she said. "Your actions have secured not just our city, but a bond between our peoples. You have reminded us why humans are capable of greatness." Liam smiled. "I only acted as any human would. We do what is necessary, and sometimes that is enough to make a difference." Celara studied him for a long moment. "It is enough, and it is more than enough. You have earned our trust, our respect, and perhaps a place in our history, not as a visitor, but as an ally." The next morning, Liam prepared to leave the palace temporarily, returning to the city to observe and assist in reconstruction. Celara joined him on the balcony for a final moment of reflection. "Remember this," she said softly. "Humans are rare, yes, but extraordinary. You have reminded us of that. Wherever your journey takes you next, carry this knowledge with pride." Liam nodded. "I will. Humans may be young among the stars, but we are capable of great things. I will not forget this world, and I will not forget what we have accomplished together." Celara smiled, a quiet, thoughtful expression. "Then perhaps this is not the end of our story, but a beginning. Humans and Violians together can face challenges that no single species could overcome alone." Liam felt a sense of purpose and pride. Humans had always explored, always adapted, and always acted when it mattered. He had proven it here, on a distant world, in a palace of crystal towers and glowing gardens. The adventure was far from over, but one truth had been made clear. Humans, when called upon, could rise to the occasion, stand proudly among the stars, and earn the respect of civilizations far beyond their own. As he descended to the city below, Liam looked out at the streets, the people, and the glowing towers. The threat had passed, the city was safe, and the alliance was secure. Yet he knew the universe was vast, full of challenges and wonders yet unseen. And he also knew that humans, even as a young species, could meet those challenges with courage, ingenuity, and heart. Celara watched him leave, her mind turning over the events of the past days. She understood now why her ancestors had remembered humans. Their legacy was not just in deeds, but in qualities that could change the course of worlds. Liam embodied those qualities, and in doing so, had ensured that humans would be seen not as strangers, but as equals, allies, and friends. The sun set over Violia, casting long shadows across the city and palace. Liam walked among the people, ready to help where needed, confident in the knowledge that humans were capable of greatness. Celara returned to her chambers, thoughtful but hopeful, knowing that the bond between their worlds had been strengthened. And so, a new chapter began, not just for Liam, not just for Violia, but for humans among the stars. The princess had frozen at first sight, yes, but now she understood. Humans were extraordinary, capable of shaping the future and leaving a mark that would be remembered across generations. In the quiet of the night, as stars shimmered overhead, both human and alien knew this truth. The universe was vast, but humans had the courage, intelligence, and heart to stand proudly among it, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.